This podcast contains paid advertisements, but more on that later. Welcome to the O'Connor Bootstrap podcast, where I discuss how you can grow your business by the bootstraps. This applies to everyone with an entrepreneurial spirit. That includes bootstrappers just starting out, established business owners, and business leaders. My goal is to help you grow both personally and professionally. I'm your host, Isaiah O'Connor. So today's sponsor is Audible.com, and a very specific book today, and that's a book I've been mentioning a lot lately, and that is Good to Great by Jim Collins. It's an amazing book for business, understanding principles of business, how business works, how to grow a business, how to make a strong business, etc. Really amazing book. I've learned a lot from it. And it has given me a real business perspective when it comes to looking at the businesses, the rise and fall of businesses, and really an insight to what does make a business great. And a lot of this information I do pass on to you guys in bits and pieces as we go on. And you can go and get a free copy with a free trial over at audible.com. It's an audiobook version, of course. I prefer audiobooks these days because I've got 2 kids. I'm trying to bring back my balloon business from its COVID-induced coma, as it were, and of course running my podcast, and overall trying to just keep up with the craziness of everyday life. And Audible's amazing for this because you can go download audiobooks. Their audio player is amazing. You can bookmark things, you can skip forward, you can go back real quick, you can edit how far you skip forward and back, which is nice. And it saves your spot across devices, so if you're on one phone and you're listening to it and then you switch to your computer, it syncs up so that you can listen where you left off. Really, really cool player, great product. Love Audible, have had them for years and years and years, have well over 100 books at this point. I highly recommend them. You can go check it out. You can get your free trial at audible.com/bootstrap with a capital B. That does help support the channel. And again, if you just go over to audible.com/bootstrap with a capital B, you can start your free trial. It's a 30-day free trial. I do suggest getting the $14.95 free trial where you can download and keep one book that you keep forever. It's amazing. Plus, you get to listen to Audible originals and a huge selection of other titles that you can just listen to for free for the entire time. Really great. Check it out. Audible.com/capital B bootstrap. Now, let's jump into this. So today I'm hitting the third part of the hiring series, and that is, who should you hire first? That's a good question, and it's a hard question to really answer, and there's no set in stone answer to this question. And it's something you should think about, of course, and this is just kind of my opinions based off of the bit of the research I've done, the hiring I've done, who I hired myself in my business, and just my thoughts on the subject. Now, my first thought is you really should hire somebody that you can train. I prefer training people, or they have a good skill set, of course, but you want to hire somebody that you can't outsource. Let me put it that way. What do I mean by that? For example, doing accounting is a pain in the butt for me. I'm really not great at it. I often joke my accountant is horrible. I really want to fire him. He messes things up all the time, but the problem is, it's me, so I'm kind of stuck. And I've told accountants that and they laugh. I am not good at accounting. Don't like it. And if I could hire an accountant full-time, someone that could run the books, run the business operations in that sense, it would be great. But for now, I don't have the funds to hire an in-house accountant, but if need be, I can always hire an accountant for a couple hours to do my taxes, or something along those lines. I can just go and hire a standalone accountant. I can hire a person to come clean my office if need be. Just for example, I don't need to hire a person to just keep my office clean. I can hire somebody out from somewhere else to come in. Not that, again, I have the money to hire someone to clean my office. I can do that myself. But you get the point. A lot of people will try to hire somebody that they can easily outsource, initially at least. You can even hire out like an HR manager. You can hire out a secretary. You can hire these people in from temp agencies, uh, virtual assistants, all these different things you can hire without actually having them on your payroll as an employee. You can hire these people to come and help you out in times of need. Now, granted, if your business starts growing big and you get bigger and bigger and bigger, sure, you get 3, 4, 5, 600 employees, then yeah, you probably want to hire a person to run HR in-house. You might want and prefer an in-house accountant that you work with exclusively, running your books through. Eventually, you want to get these people in to stay with you and do the work, because it's a lot easier when they're on your payroll, of course. But these are the hires that, tempting as it may be to hire an accountant right away, you don't really need to have on your payroll right away, because of, again, these are people you can go outside and hire, which is not a problem. So that's, again, one of the thoughts I had going through. Then I've heard people say, well, you really should hire a salesperson or a marketing person right off the bat. Get someone to sell your product, sell your service, get you business. And I've seen that quite a few times, that you do eventually want to hire a salesperson or a marketer. And yeah, you definitely want to have someone to help you sell your product, sell your service, market it, especially if you're not great at that. So perhaps a marketing person or a salesperson. However, you want to make sure they're a good salesperson and a good marketer, and you want to have enough experience to know the difference. So that's kind of a good thing to check into. But with my personal experience, and one article I read is, you need to duplicate yourself and hire people that free you up to do what you're really great at. Now, for example, I'm okay at sales, I'm okay at marketing, but I'm really the best at making the balloon creations. For example, in my balloon business, that's my big skill set. And so perhaps I could hire somebody to help run the technical office details, the marketing, the sales, maybe the accounting. So it frees me up to do more of the balloon work. That would be great. Or hire someone to do the balloon work so I can work on marketing and sales and pricing and stuff, because at this stage in growing my business, it still requires a lot of hands-on details from me as I make decisions on pricing, as I make decisions on where the money is going, the cash flow, etc. So, yeah, that's maybe more what I need. And so, that's exactly who I hired. One of the biggest people that I needed to hire right away was a person who could do balloons as well as me. I think this is very important, that you need to hire somebody that can handle a big part of what you do, of your main job. That way, it frees you up to do other things in building the company. So, in my case, I hired a guy to come in, and I taught him how to make balloon animals, how to build balloon decor, and help me out. This did a couple of things. First of all, it gave me a badly needed extra set of hands for large jobs. One of the jobs we did took us about 11 hours, including breaks, and that was two of us working together, and we barely got it done in time for the big event. Big event, a lot of work. Another thing is, when you can duplicate yourself, as it were, you can cover more ground, especially with balloon decor and design and balloon entertainment, because again, like I said before, as a balloon clown, I can't be at two events at the same time, and I've had two events double booked where I have had to hire third party people in to come and do the event. Now, again, in this case, yeah, you might be able to hire in a third party to come and help you out with an event, and that's what's good. That's what's good, to have a good, friendly, be on a friendly level with your competitors, be able to hire your competitors in to come and work for you if you need extra help. It's always a good thing to be able to be friendly like that. On the flip side, I've known competitors to come in, you hire them to help you out, and then they steal your client. Not good. Or they like them a lot and they call them first instead of you, and they want to bypass the middleman, so they hire them directly instead of you. So that can come back to burn you as well. So with that, my first hire was a person that I could hire to help me do the work that I did so I could work on building the business. Because in my case, I'm not just a balloon guy. I wouldn't have this podcast if I was just a balloon guy. Most of the people I know in the balloon industry, not all of them, but a large amount of them have balloons as their biggest passion, and the business is kind of secondary. They kind of just do what it takes just to make money doing what they love, which is nothing wrong with that. But there's very, very few people I've seen that consider themselves business people and entrepreneurs, even though they are business people and entrepreneurs. They don't see themselves that way. They see themselves as a balloon artist running a business, not a business person making balloon art. If you can see the difference there. If you're listening to this podcast, odds are you're the businessman, the entrepreneur looking for something to do that you will love. So you can do a balloon art, for example, and or a business podcast and or something else, but from a business perspective, which is a different perspective. And I'm not saying either of which is wrong, but for me, in my company, if I can build up people that can do balloon art and teach them that and grow them in that, make them great balloon artists, while I run a business and build the business in as well, that is amazing, and that frees me up to do something else that I'm passionate about. And that's another thing. You might like the business end of doing the business and the business that you do, like I do. I like doing the balloon art, but I also like the business. So you can bring in somebody to free you up to move around. Now, eventually, you're going to want to bring in management. You want to bring in the best people. And even if you don't know quite where they fit on your team, you definitely want to bring in the best people. And that brings me back to that book, Good to Great. And they talk about getting the right people on the bus and the wrong people off the bus is more important than where the bus is going. So when you're building up your company, you want to get the best people in your company. That's the most important thing. Regardless of the position they're in, what duties they have, you want them to be the most amazing people you can find that will be loyal to you and the company more than where the company is going or how much they're getting paid or anything else. Someone that's really invested in you and your business, and just amazing people, even if you don't know exactly where they'd fit. And you can hire a person and have them do something, but know that that's not their permanent position, because you're hiring them not because you need a position filled, but because they're an amazing person to hire. Matter of fact, when I built my business big enough, I do want to be able to start hiring people that are just amazing people, and I'll figure out where they fit later, as long as they're amazing people. And I've heard of businesses doing this and having great success. I believe it was HP, Hewlett Packard, that had a kid. I think, I could be completely wrong on this, but some big company, had a kid who took really good care of them at a restaurant or something else. I can't remember the story precisely, but they showed initiative, high amount of skill in what they were doing. They were overall a great guy, and they could just tell this is a guy that they would want to have on their team, and they hired him. They had no clue where they're going to put him, but they hired him, and he turned out to be a vital part of their business growth because he was an amazing person. So that's another thing. When you're hiring, hire for the person that is the best person that fits you, your business, your vision the best. The person that is an amazing person, even if it's a person that's going to be doing balloons for you or sweeping the floors for you or whatever, make sure they're an amazing person to begin with. And that's what you want to hire. Your first hire should be an amazing person. I was blessed with an amazing person as a first hire. Unfortunately, he was so amazing that I could not afford to keep him. He was worth way more than I could pay him, and I did not have enough jobs to keep him busy because I did hire him on call, and he was a college student who went off to college. Still in touch with the guy. An amazing guy. Can highly recommend him to any of his future employers because he is an amazing guy. So, just saying, even if it's a guy that's an on-call guy who's probably going to want to be with you temporary, you want to get a great and amazing guy that you can rave on in the future. So, and of course that comes into the next part of this series, which is the hiring process. How do you find these amazing people to work for you? How do you find the right guy to fit? What steps do you take? And I might throw in compensation into that. We'll see if I get that far. But yeah, you definitely want to hire an amazing person. Who you hire first, that's completely up to you. You heard my ideas behind there. And there's lots and lots and lots of pages on and articles and blog posts on this subject. And they pretty much all disagree with each other. So, take it for what it's worth. Anyway, y'all have a great day. And I will see you after the weekend. Bye-bye. If you found value in this content, please leave a comment and give us a 5-star rating on whichever podcast platform you use. We're on Apple Podcast, Spotify, Google, and most other podcast platforms. If you would like to support us, you can check out our sponsor links, or if you'd like to support us directly, you can donate or join our membership program at buymeacoffee.com/bootstrap. Of course, it really helps when you share these podcasts with your friends as well. If you'd like to interact with me and other bootstrappers and leaders, you can join us over at our O'Connor Bootstrap Podcast Facebook group. You have been listening to the O'Connor Bootstrap Podcast, an Atheoz Business Solutions podcast. For a companion podcast, the Atheoz Business Podcast, which is hosted by Jason St. Clair, past episodes and related blogs, please check out our website at www.atheoz.com, which is at www.atheoz.com or theoz.com. Until next time, I have been your friendly neighborhood entrepreneur, Isaiah O'Connor.